King, you are a prolific filmmaker at this point in your life. Tell me about Quaker Town, and what is it about this story that really resonated with you?
Well, Quaker Town by definition is personal. I have lineage of family that go back in Denton, Texas to the 1920s and 30s and 40s. It's a story of my family legacy, a story of the legacy of African Americans in Denton. What I think is kind of timely, it's a story of power and how power can go awry and affect people. I think it's timely in that respect, and I also think it's timely in the sense that people are looking for their roots, their origins. They're looking for a place to call home, and they want to know, how did we get here? Often in documentaries, you discover the film while you're making the film. And I love that aspect of it.
It kind of unfolds for you. Let's talk about Quaker Town pre-1929. What was this community like?
It was a thriving community. They had their own church, grocery store. They had a tavern. They showed movies. This was a thriving community. There was a few Model Ts in North Texas at the time, and 2 of them were in Quaker Town. This was almost a Highland Park in certain areas, if you will, that had a sliding scale of economics in middle class and lower middle class, but you did have doctors and attorneys there, and it was a thriving community. Rural white folks would drive into Quaker Town, buy their food, come in, say hello, leave. There was Irish and German immigrants that were displaced, and they moved into Quaker Town. So this was really almost a progressive model of a town that was years ahead of its time, right here in Denton, Texas.
Well, and it was described to me as a town within a town. Members of the surrounding community of Denton in 1929 decided to propose some legislation to essentially disband Quaker Town. And it was something that was voted on, and it certainly did. It destroyed the whole community.
There was what we would like to say was a political and financial cabal that decided that they wanted to displace Quaker Town from its residents, move them out, make a park. But the interesting thing is that the park wasn't really established for years. There was one lady who refused to leave her house, and they put her house on logs and rolled her off, and she sat on the porch and rolled her off with her. And she just refused to leave. You talk about how people were displaced. They don't understand the economic impact that has for those families, that community, and how that lasts a couple generations.
One thing that I found really interesting when I was reading your perspective on this film, it is a documentary, but you also say it's a crime drama.
Correct.
Tell me about that. Why do you refer to it as a crime drama?
Most of these stories that you hear, Quaker Town, Wilmington, Elaine, Rosewood, they're all crime dramas. I look at these instances and I say, well, this was not just a morality story, right? This is a story of crimes. Some of the things that were done were not legal. It was illegal. People had deeds. And so they had a legal deed in the state of Texas, and they were usurped. And I think that is, a film like this can turn into a discussion can turn into activism can turn into laws. There's just 2 things people want. They want acknowledgement of what happened, a true record, and they want a thorough investigation of the crime.
They want justice. They want justice.